Today we are talking about cut and puncture resistance, specifically gloves and sleeves. To do that, we're going to be talking with Katie Heidenberg. Katie, did I get that right?
You sure did.
And you're the director of channel sales at HexArmor. Katie, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's so good to be here.
Now, for anyone who doesn't already know HexArmor, they make some impressive gloves and sleeves. They use SuperFabric, I believe is the correct term. Am I getting that
It
right?
is. It is. Yep. SuperFabric.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Based on the name alone, it sounds like it's Superman's suit, possibly. But Katie, I'm going to guess that you're going to tell me that that's not the case. Let me ask it this way. What makes SuperFabric so good at cut protection? Can you share that with us, or am I basically asking for KFC's secret recipe?
Kurt, so there are some trade secrets involved with SuperFabric because it is a patented product and it's exclusively licensed to HexArmor in the safety space. But what I can tell you is that SuperFabric is not only incredibly cut resistant, but it's also puncture resistant, abrasion resistant, and certain styles are needle stick resistant too. And really the secret sauce is in the pattern of the tiny resin guard plates that are applied to the surface of the fabric. And the geometry is designed in such a way to arrest and deflect sharp and pointed hazards. What happens is when it's hit by one of those, they collapse together when on a soft surface, such as your skin. And SuperFabric has helped prevent millions of injuries and in turn really helped save companies millions of dollars in direct and indirect injury costs.
It's interesting to me to hear that SuperFabric is basically a win-win material. It helps employees by offering great protection, but then it also helps organizations because they don't have to pay for any potential bills. And it's very cool that it works basically on that collapsing principle. I had no idea how the technology worked. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So keeping with that win-win mentality, what types of tasks make sense for SuperFabric?
I mean, really anything where a worker is going to come in contact with any type of cut or puncture hazard. So think of blade changing with pulp and paper or needle stick and cut protection for sorting lines with waste and recycling. That's really where we started, and we're really one of the only solutions in that area. In mining, there are workers who are handling angle irons that are really sharp or metal screens, and SuperFabric does a great job protecting against those cut and puncture hazards. Wood splinters and strapping is another thing for the lumber industry where we have really been able to solve so many age-old problems there that and injuries that we're really seeing as kind of unsolvable injuries. And then utilities is a great and kind of newer space for us, I would say, with SuperFabric. Solar panel installation and repair has become big in the past couple of years. So think about anytime one of those solar panels shatters or when they're installing them, and just really the cut hazards involved in that. SuperFabric is a great solution for that.
Okay, now I'm going to mention a specific type of glove, and I'm going to bet that you know exactly which glove and why. But I'm going to talk about the 314 series. Why would I want to talk about that, Katie?
The 314 series is one of three bodyguard products that HexArmor partnered with Fastenal on that include SuperFabric. And this is, I think, outstanding because it's the first time that SuperFabric has been used in the safety space outside of a HexArmor specific product. So the 314 is a multi-purpose mechanic style glove, and it has SuperFabric sewn into the palm. The SuperFabric gives it an A8 Ansi cut rating, and it has incredible dexterity. So it's very popular in oil and gas, metal fabrication, construction, really anything where the mechanic style type of glove is what's typically being used. But then, there's really kind of a need for added cut and puncture protection. There's also impact protection on the 314, so that gives you kind of an extra benefit as many of those industries require that. There are also two co-branded SuperFabric sleeves that I don't want to forget to talk about. And these are fantastic for any of the industries that I mentioned earlier. So the really truly standout thing about our SuperFabric sleeves is that they can last 6 months to a year. So compared to a Kevlar or maybe HPPE sleeve, these are much longer lasting. They're not as tight fitting, so they're more breathable. And they have ANSI A7 cut resistance, and they also have a very high amount of puncture resistance with them as well.
So for the Ansi scale, we're looking at a 7 for the sleeves and a 8 for the gloves.
Correct.
That's pretty high up there because A9 is the top. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
So these are not only durable, but they're very safe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, you mentioned the partnership, and I'm glad you did. I don't think either of us were in the room when the idea was hatched, but why do you think HexArmor wanted to partner with Fastenal?
So funny enough, Kurt, I actually was in the room when the idea was hatched. And the
Okay.
conversation really started because Fastenal has done such a tremendous job of representing HexArmor and our products in the field. Your safety team understands our technology, and they have been able to push our products into new customers and markets where we had not been before. I mean, with Fastenal's undeniable presence in the market and how rapidly you guys are growing, we thought, what a better way to keep more workers safe and share this technology with Fastenal so more people can have better access to it.
And I think for Fastenal that it's great for us to partner with a trusted company like HexArmor because you make a really versatile series of PPE products. You guys don't just know your stuff, you've also been doing this for a long time and making high quality products for years now. So I guess I should mention too that these are co-branded items. Is that correct? It's not just HexArmor, it's not just Bodyguard. This really is a partnership.
Absolutely. Yep. These are Bodyguard by HexArmor products that use SuperFabric.
You've got trademark power all over that sentence.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Katie, I've taken enough of your time today. Before I let you go here, can you sum up the real takeaway of SuperFabric?
Sure. I mean, SuperFabric is far and away one of the most protective technologies in the market when it comes to cut, puncture, and needle stick resistance. If customers are having injuries due to any of these hazards, even the ones that they would consider unsolvable, it's really time to consider SuperFabric.
Katie, thanks again for talking today.
Thank you so much for having me.